The one question that will change your perspective on everything. Yes. That's what we're going to be chatting about in this week's episode of
Get Real with the English Sisters.
Mind, health and anxiety. And listen to the full podcast to find out what the question is.
What is that question?
Only joking. We'll let you know straight away.
Straight away, yes. I think the very, very important question you have to ask yourself.
With a cheeky grin.
With a cheeky grin, yes. Are you going to say it?
Is that helpful to me in this moment, right here and right now?
Yes. Is that helpful to me? So whether you're thinking something, a particular thought, imagine if you said to yourself, well, is that helpful to me now? So what's your answer going to be?
Well, it'll either be yes or no.
Exactly.
Or maybe. If it's maybe, then you can ponder and consider the thought. But if it's no, well, then you can just discard it and say, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to flip it around or do the opposite or do something different.
Something different to shift your perspective slightly.
Exactly.
Because there are many times that we have thoughts and with thoughts come feelings, obviously. One gets fears and anxiety.
And stress.
And stress that comes along with it all. So it's like all stringed together. And we can have these feelings and these thoughts, and we know whether we don't know. The problem is we very often do not know because we're not aware of how they're actually making us feel. And yet, if we become aware of them, we suddenly take a moment and we just stop and we say, well, what's going through my mind right now? What am I saying to myself? What am I actually saying to myself? Is this helpful?
Is this helpful?
I mean, many times I wake up on a Monday morning, I say, oh God, no, I do not want to get out of bed.
Is this helpful?
And I always say to myself, well, is this helpful? And no, it's definitely not helpful because I know I have to get out of bed. And I know there is no other option for me but to get out of bed. So it's much more helpful for me to think, oh, I'm going to go downstairs and make myself a delicious cup of coffee. That's a more helpful thought.
And then you can ask yourself, is that helpful? And it's yes, it is.
No, it is helpful. I know that's helpful.
Forward to a delicious
because I'm looking forward to my breakfast. So that's like, for me, is a motivator for me to actually get up.
So if you're screaming and shouting and thinking, I've got to rush off, I've got to do this, then just stop a minute and say, is that helpful? No.
Screaming and shouting.
Well, yeah.
Well, sometimes.
I mean, how many times has it happened that we're in a really bad mood or we're shouting at our partner or at ourselves and we're just thinking, is this helpful? No. If you start adopting this one phrase,
this one question,
you will notice such a difference in your life.
And a massive difference. Now, really and truly put it into practice. Ask yourself, is this helpful? Whenever you're thinking about something or you're thinking about not doing something.
The other day,
procrastinating, you can ask yourself, is this helpful
for me?
I
didn't want to go and do my exercise and I hadn't done any of the 10,000 steps.
Yeah, you do.
And then I don't do them every day, but I was thinking, I don't want to go on the treadmill. I don't want to get off the sofa. And then I asked myself, is this helpful, Violetta? And I said, no. And then I said, what would be more helpful to you? And I said, well, it'd be more helpful if I start imagining putting my gym clothes on, my outfit to work out on, and just going and doing it. And so then I did that, and then, of course, I did my training, and I felt great afterwards because I always feel better after training.
I think that's a really great thought to have and to think, instead of saying, no, I don't want to train, to have that thought and think, I always feel better after training. Yeah. So that's a good thought to have, isn't it? Most people do feel better after training, but they don't want to train. They don't want to go and actually do the exercise. Because
But you can ask yourself once again, not to be repetitive, but this is what this podcast episode is about. Is it helpful for me not to do my exercise today? Is it helpful? And you might say, yes, actually it is helpful because I've got a terrible migraine.
Oh, yeah,
And,
obviously.
going to do my exercise is not going to be good. So then you can say, okay, so it's fine. I'm going to be just chilling and, I might take something, but I'm just going to relax.
In that case, obviously, it's good and it's helpful to listen to your body and to listen to the feelings that are coming through your body. But a lot of the times the feelings are just, I don't want to do it, not because I don't feel well. If you don't feel well, then it's good for you to listen to your body and say, no, okay, I really do not want to exercise. I need to lie down and just like what you were saying, just really relax and maybe go and eat something or take some medicine for it. That's a different case, I think.
But the question's still there, isn't it?
The question is doing exercise helpful? That's a good question. Even when sometimes we're just over keen or we're overly, we tend to we do too much.
We abuse our bodies,
We
don't we?
abuse them, we do too much, whether it's exercise or whether it's helping other people and not taking care of ourselves. As women, we often fall into that trap. And you can ask yourself, well, is it helpful for me to accept that invitation today to my neighbour's house because I actually feel really tired? Is it helpful for me, or am I just not wanting to go because can't be bothered or whatever?
I like the way you mention your neighbour.
Well, it was an invite we had, and my first instinct was to say, oh no, I don't want to go. But then in the end, it was okay. Nice. It was nice. They're lovely.
So did you ask yourself, is that helpful?
I did ask myself, is it helpful for me to say no and to say no to social occasions? And in the end, I thought it's not helpful for me because I become too much of an introvert in the end. And then it's just work, then it's therapy, work. It's not enough. It's also important to see people in a social context. So I had to say all of that to myself while my hubby was just staring at me saying, oh, the neighbours invited you, we're going over. And if he knew the internal dialogue, it's like 6 seconds for me to think, oh, is this helpful? Is it not helpful?
Yeah, but to be fair to your hubby, he just goes wherever. He doesn't get a shower, he doesn't get dressed.
He's not bothered,
Whereas you have to get out of your PJs, get dressed, put your makeup on.
Well, yeah, especially it was like Sunday evening, so it takes more of an effort.
It's more of an effort for us.
Yeah, for him it was just like, oh, come on then, should we just toddle over?
Just let's pop over.
But I think these thoughts out to myself, and you're right, yeah. I mean, it's a massive difference. I'm sure, but I think if my husband did ask himself whether his thoughts were helpful, he would be a happier man. Because I tell him these things, but he does not fully absorb them, even though I am a therapist, which is ironic.
It's always the same, isn't it? With family and friends.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because I say, I know what's going on in your head. You're repeating the same negative thoughts, not because they're bad, but because they're not helpful to you. So if you ask yourself the question, is this helpful to me? I'm sure he would say no 100 times himself. And that would force him to have to make a change.
And shift his perspective on it. In the end, it's like
it's a life-changing, altering experience. If you really do ask yourself that question, it does change things. Because for a start, it makes you aware that you're looking out for your best interest here. And you have to be objective. You can't just say, yeah, it is much better for me to say no because I can't be bothered. I just want to be in my pajamas and do the same old, same old.
No, you have to answer truthfully.
Truthfully, yes. The answer has to be coming from a place of truth and thinking, well, it is good for me, for example, in case of the neighbours, to get out, to talk to people that aren't my clients and patients, and to just see a different perspective of the world, and just it's also good to have
make good relations with the
neighbours. But I mean, we've known them for years and we know they're lovely people and everything, so It's just to step over the boundary, like over the hedge. But I had to ask myself those real questions, and then you'll get a real answer, and you'll know what you have to do, and then it's up to you, really.
But I mean, it's so simple, and I think often in life the simplest of things are the most effective, and they're like little life hacks. When you know them, you can just really apply them and use them every day, and like every moment of the day. Like if your boss says to it, for instance, can you do this for me? You can quickly ask yourself, is it helpful for me to do this? And if the answer is yes, you can say sure. Whereas if the answer is no, my boss has already been overloading me with so much stuff and I have to really get on with this, you can maybe say, well, I can't get on that yet. Is there someone else that can do it for me because I'm doing this? Or you can say maybe tomorrow, but you can be more, you can be more authentic to yourself, whether it's just saying yes or no. Because if you just say no and you should be doing it and it's helpful for you because your boss is going to think, oh, they're really good, they're competent or whatever.
Exactly, or it's going to help you grow in some sense, or make you see a different facet of life, into somebody else's life, or just see something different which is good for you. It's good for you, because otherwise you wouldn't say it's helpful. I think once you answer the question, is it helpful, and you answer yourself honestly and truthfully and you say yes, then you've got to look into it.
And then that'll give you the answer. When you answer yes, that'll give you the motivation to go and do it. So it'll empower you. So it's a very powerful word. It's a very powerful question.
It's a powerful question because ultimately you say yes, and then you can say yes, why? Why? Because it makes me socialize more. It's good to have relations with my neighbors. It's good for me to see other people's points of view, see how other people live. I don't know. There's so many reasons why I had to say yes to myself really quickly. And that's just about a casual invite. There'd be many other really important decisions in my life that I have made by asking myself, is this helpful to me? So many important questions, like in my marriage, I've asked myself that same question as well. Whether, when we had a crisis, I thought, is it helpful for me to stay together? Is this in my best interest? Not financially, but in my life, in all of my interest. What is the best thing? What is it really that my heart is saying? What is the best thing for me? And that question has helped me. So it's not just a little question about going to your neighbour's house.
No, it can be very deep.
It can be deep when you learn to just
you learn to listen to your own feelings as well and ask yourself, is it helpful for me? Yes, like what you're saying in relationships, whether you're considering maybe a divorce or considering staying together with someone or not, you can really say, is this helpful in the long run? Because maybe you might be going through a difficult time at the moment, but when you look at the overall picture, or you look to see if the other person is willing to adapt and change and discuss, then you might say, well, I think it is helpful for me to stay in this situation or not. You might say, no, really, if I think honestly, it's not helpful in one slightest bit.
Yeah, you'll know it because the answer will just like blurt out.
Yeah.
It's like an instinctive thing. You're when you ask yourself this question in your own mind, you'll find answers come out really quickly. You'd be quite surprised.
Yes, you will surprise yourself.
And I think if the answer is, I don't know, then you can explore it.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes it can be that.
It can be,
or
I
it can
don't
be
know.
Maybe, or I don't know, I'm not sure.
Is it like, if you say no, is a no out of fear? If you get offered a promotion, for example, and you're frightened because you think, God, I don't know if I can take that on. That might be just fear.
It could be fear of the unknown.
Or it could be that in this moment of your life, you really don't want to spend that much time at work.
My husband refused the promotion for many years.
I was thinking of him.
He did not want to go further up because he said, if I do go further up, I know there'll be a lot more responsibility, and I'll have to deal with problems and difficult people that I am. He's in IT, so he said, I don't really want to be on that side of things, more on the management side. He said, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it, Violetta. So I mean, I respect him. I said, fine. You just have to be. It's important for you to be happy. It wasn't out of fear that he didn't want to grow, or he was, he thought I'm not capable of doing it. He just didn't want all the responsibility and the long hours that went with it.
Exactly.
So yes, ask yourself if it's helpful. Yeah, there may be a time in your career where you want to wind down. You may be wanting to start a family, and you might be thinking, actually, I don't want to take that promotion, because if I do, they're going to expect me to work 10 or 15 hours a day.
You might get paid
and
more,
I might want to be thinking about having a baby and just being calm and, cutting down on the hours, if anything. So, and you can ask yourself, is it helpful to me?
Is it helpful to me today, or looking slightly ahead in the future? Is it going to be helpful to me in the future? There's so many times you can ask yourself this question for anything, really.
Well, we've asked
booking a dentist appointment. Is it helpful?
Is it helpful for us to do this podcast? Haven't we? Many a time.
Yes, we have.
Many a time we've said, is it helpful to us? And we always say yes in the end, because when we talk to you about things, it also reminds us to do. We take on the same whatever we're talking about. We'll actually remember it and do it more.
It's like once they say that if you learn something and then you tell somebody else about it, it reinforces in your brain. It like sticks to it, doesn't it? It's the best way for you to assimilate something.
Yes.
So by speaking to you about it, even though we've learnt this so many years ago, but it refreshes things in our mind, and
we always put it into practice again. So we do it along with you. We're going to be asking ourselves more often. Even more. Is this helpful to us?
Yeah. Absolutely. Definitely more of that.
Because more often than not, it is helpful, but there are many situations where it really is not helpful. And then that's when you have to have your guard up and you have to look after yourself and think, no,
this is not helpful for me to go to this meeting.
Not good for me.
Or to meet up with my ex and discuss this in live. We can just do it over the phone, over a text. I do not need to meet. It's not helpful to me at that moment. You can say, if it's not.
Because you can get dragged into other people's agenda a lot as well, where they want what's helpful to them. And it might not be helpful for you at that moment. So you can actually say, no, I'm sorry, but I'm not willing to do this at the minute. You can you can set up boundaries for yourself as well. It goes both ways, doesn't it?
Definitely goes both ways.
But it definitely changes the way you live your life and the perspective. It shifts your perspective completely on how to do things, doesn't it?
It's incredible.
Well, let us know what you think.
It's a magic question. It is the magic question, yeah. Definitely. Use it. And you will be surprised by the results.
Use it and abuse it, because it's one question that's going to be really good for you to use.
Really good for you to ask yourself. Definitely an inspection inside your soul. As to say, you will get from this question, you will get your answers.
So, as usual, come and see the video on YouTube where we have the YouTube version of the podcast. And please do write in and text us with your thoughts. Of course, the podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And we do love hearing from you.
Yes, so we definitely do.
Do write to us. Come and see us on Instagram, wherever you want. We're here to help you. Lots of love and smiles from the English Sisters. Bye. Bye-bye.